High in the cold mountains of Japan, hidden among snow-covered trees and steaming hot springs, there is a place unlike anywhere else in the world. This is Jigokudani Snow Monkey Park, home to Japan's famous wild monkeys who love to bathe in hot water. Located in Nagano Prefecture, this park is not a zoo or a theme park. It's a natural area where you can see Japanese macaques, often called snow monkeys, living freely, climbing, grooming, playing, and soaking in warm water just like humans do. The name Jigokudani means Hell Valley, because of the steam rising from the ground and the boiling hot springs bubbling up between the rocks. In winter, the whole valley is covered in deep snow, making the steam look even more dramatic. But don't worry, it's not scary. It's beautiful. Peaceful. A world of white snow, dark trees, and warm mist. The star residents of the park are the macaques, short-tailed monkeys with pink faces and thick brown fur. They are smart, social, and surprisingly relaxed around humans. These monkeys are not trained. They are not locked in cages. They come and go as they please, and that's what makes the experience so magical. In winter, when the mountains are frozen and the snow is deep, the monkeys come down from the cliffs to enjoy the warmth of the natural hot springs, or onsen. You can watch them sit in the water, eyes half closed, steam rising around them, completely at peace. It's an unforgettable sight, monkeys soaking like people, their fur wet, their faces calm, as snowflakes fall gently from the sky. Visitors walk along a mountain path, about 1.6 kilometers, 1 mile, through the forest, to reach the viewing area. The walk itself is part of the adventure. In winter, it feels like stepping into a fairy tale, with tall trees, deep silence, and animal footprints in the snow. When you arrive, there are no fences. No loud crowds. Just a few wooden buildings, snow-covered rocks, and a pool of steaming water, surrounded by monkeys. It's one of the only places in the world where wild monkeys and humans can quietly share the same space. And it all began with one clever monkey, and a very cold winter. The story of the snow monkeys bathing in hot springs isn't just cute, it's a tale of intelligence, curiosity, and survival. It all began in the early 1960s. Back then, the hot springs in Jigokudani were mostly used by humans. A small traditional inn called Korakukan had an outdoor bath near the river, where guests could enjoy a soak while surrounded by nature. At the same time, wild Japanese macaques lived in the forests above. These monkeys were already known for being clever and social, but they usually kept their distance from people. Then one winter, everything changed. The snow was deep. Food was hard to find. The monkeys came down from the mountains, looking for warmth and something to eat. They wandered closer to the inn, closer to the hot water. And then, one brave monkey did something no one had ever seen before. It stepped into the onsen. At first, the monkey only dipped its feet. Then it sat down. Then it leaned back. And soon, it was completely relaxed, steam rising around its furry body. The other monkeys watched. And slowly, they followed. Within days, a whole group of macaques began using the hot spring as their personal spa. The innkeepers and researchers were shocked. No one had ever seen wild monkeys do this before. But instead of chasing them away, they did something wonderful. They created a special pool just for the monkeys nearby, using natural hot spring water. That small act of kindness led to the creation of Jigokudani Snow Monkey Park, a safe, protected place where monkeys could bathe, play, and live freely without bothering the guests. Even more amazing, scientists began to study this behavior. They found that monkey culture is passed down through generations. So once one group of monkeys learned to enjoy the onsen, they taught their young, and it became a family habit. Now, decades later, many monkeys still return every winter to soak in the same springs. They know it's safe. They know it's warm. And they know, just like we do, how good it feels to relax in hot water on a snowy day. It's one of the most heartwarming stories of how animals and humans can learn to share the same world, with respect and curiosity. Watching the snow monkeys in Jigokudani isn't just about seeing cute animals, it's about entering the complex world of one of the most intelligent and social species in Japan. These monkeys are Japanese macaques, a species found all over Japan. But in Jigokudani, their behavior is especially unique, shaped by the cold weather, the hot springs, and their tight social bonds. Macaques live in large groups, called troops, with anywhere from 20 to over 100 members. Inside each troop is a strict social hierarchy, a pecking order that affects everything from who eats first to who gets the best spot in the onsen. At the top is the alpha male. He leads the troop, protects it from danger, and has first access to food and mates. But female macaques also have strong roles. In fact, female rank is inherited, passed from mother to daughter. So even young females can have high status if their mother is dominant. The monkeys are constantly grooming each other, picking through each other's fur not just to clean, but to build friendships and show respect. Grooming is one of the most important social activities for macaques. It helps reduce stress, builds trust, and reinforces group bonds. You'll often see younger monkeys playing, chasing, jumping, rolling in the snow. Play is how they learn. They copy adult behaviors, practice climbing, and build confidence. The monkeys even show emotion. They comfort each other. They fight and make up. They raise their babies with care. A mother will carry her infant close to her chest, even in deep snow, keeping it warm with her body heat. What's truly fascinating is that these monkeys choose to return to the park each year. They are not forced. They are not fed by hand. They come because they know it's a safe place, and because the hot springs are a relief from the harsh mountain cold. But they don't stay all year. In the warmer months, the monkeys return to the mountains, searching for food like nuts, berries, leaves, and even insects. They climb, travel, and explore, living like true wild animals. That balance, between wilderness and familiarity, is what makes Jigokudani so special. Here, you see monkeys as they truly are. Wild, free, complex, and deeply connected to one another. And if you stay long enough, you'll notice something else. Each monkey has its own personality, just like us. Visiting Jigokudani Snow Monkey Park is more than a sightseeing trip, it's a quiet adventure through nature, snow, and silence. The park is located in Yamanouchi, a small town in Nagano Prefecture, deep in the Japanese Alps. The closest major station is Nagano Station, and from there, it takes about 45 minutes by train or bus to reach the small town of Udanaka, known for its traditional hot springs and ryokans, Japanese inns. From Udanaka, visitors take a local bus or taxi to the park entrance, but the journey doesn't stop there. The real magic begins at the start of the forest trail. To reach the monkeys, you must walk 1.6 kilometers, about 1 mile, through a forest path that winds through tall cedar and pine trees. In winter, the trail is often covered in deep snow, and the air is crisp and silent. There are no cars, no city sounds, just the crunch of your boots and the rustle of wind through snow-covered branches. The walk takes about 25 to 30 minutes, and while it's not steep, it's important to wear proper shoes, especially in winter. Many visitors describe this short hike as one of the best parts of the experience. It feels like walking into another world, quiet, untouched, and peaceful. As you approach the park's entrance, a small building appears. This is the visitor center, where you buy your ticket, warm up, and learn a bit about the monkeys before entering their world. Beyond the gate is a narrow wooden walkway and, just ahead, a small rocky pool of steaming hot water. You've arrived at the Snow Monkeys Onsen. There are no fences, and the monkeys are all around, some bathing, others climbing, grooming, or playing in the snow. You're allowed to take photos, but you must keep a respectful distance. You can't touch or feed the monkeys, and you won't need to. They're so close, you can feel their presence, yet they're wild and free. Sometimes, a monkey will walk right past you, barely noticing you. Other times, a young one will stop and stare, curious about your camera or backpack. But mostly, they just enjoy their soak, eyes half closed, steam swirling around them, totally relaxed. It's quiet. Peaceful. You're not in a zoo. You're a guest in their natural space. And that's what makes it so special. This is not a performance. This is life, as it truly is in the mountains of Japan. When people think of Jigokudani Snow Monkey Park, they often imagine winter, thick snow, misty hot springs, and monkeys soaking like old men in a spa. And it's true, winter is the park's most famous season. But did you know the park is open all year round? And each season offers a different kind of magic. Let's start with winter, from December to early March. This is the most iconic time to visit. The valley is blanketed in snow, the trees are bare, and the monkeys come down daily to warm up in the hot springs. Their fur is often frosty. Snowflakes sit on their heads. Steam rises in the cold air. It's like watching a scene from a nature documentary in real life. But winter also means icy paths, freezing temperatures, and heavy clothing, so visitors should dress warmly and wear boots with grip. Then comes spring, a quieter season, from March to May. The snow begins to melt. Streams flow more freely. The forest trail turns from white to green, and wildflowers bloom along the path. Fewer tourists come in spring, so the park feels more intimate and calm. And best of all, this is baby monkey season. Tiny macaques cling to their mothers or wobble across the rocks on their own. They're playful, curious, and completely adorable. Summer, from June to August, brings lush green forests and warm weather. The monkeys don't use the hot springs much during this time. They don't need the warmth, but they're still around. You'll see them climbing trees, eating leaves, or lounging in the sun. The forest is alive with birdsong, insects, and rustling leaves. It's a completely different atmosphere, more like a jungle than a snow-covered valley. And then comes autumn, from September to November, a photographer's dream. The mountains turn gold, orange, and red. Crisp air returns, and the monkeys begin preparing for winter. They're more active, foraging, grooming, and enjoying the cooler days. Each season tells a different story. Winter shows the struggle to stay warm. Spring brings new life. Summer offers rest and green beauty. Autumn reminds us of change and preparation. No matter when you visit, the park offers peace, closeness to nature, and the rare chance to see wild animals simply being themselves. So whether you want snowflakes and steam, or green trails and baby monkeys, Jigokudani welcomes you in every season. The monkeys of Jigokudani are more than a tourist attraction, they're a scientific wonder. Over the years, they've become some of the most studied primates in the world. Why? Because these monkeys show incredible intelligence, social complexity, and even signs of culture. Researchers have spent decades observing the macaques here. They've watched how they form friendships, how they raise their young, and how they pass down habits, like bathing in hot springs, from one generation to the next. That's right, these monkeys learn from each other. In fact, scientists have found that some monkey behaviors differ between troops, just like human cultures. One troop may teach its young how to wash food and water, while another may not. Some groups are more playful, others more aggressive. They even have social rules about grooming, conflict, and cooperation. At Jigokudani, scientists also study how the monkeys respond to cold weather, because these macaques live farther north, and in colder climates, than any other non-human primate on Earth. They've learned to survive snow, ice, and long winters by sticking together, sharing warmth, and using the onsen. One fascinating discovery was made in recent years. Female monkeys tend to use the hot springs more than males. Why? Researchers believe the hot water reduces stress hormones, especially helpful for females during winter when food is scarce. In short, the onsen isn't just fun for them, it's survival. Beyond research, the park is a leader in conservation and ethical wildlife tourism. Unlike many animal attractions, Jigokudani does not allow feeding, touching, or training. The monkeys are free to leave whenever they want, and they often do. That freedom is what makes the experience so honest and respectful. The staff and caretakers at the park monitor the monkeys' health, protect their environment, and educate visitors about how to observe without disturbing. Jigokudani has also become a symbol around the world, featured in documentaries, magazines, and travel shows. Photographers from National Geographic and BBC have visited to capture these iconic snow-soaking primates. And yet, despite their fame, the monkeys remain humble. They live as they always have, climbing, grooming, and soaking under the snowfall, unaware of how special they've become to the world. They remind us that even in the coldest places, life finds a way. And sometimes, it finds comfort, community, and even joy. There are some places that stay with you, long after the photos fade, long after the snow has melted. Jigokudani Snow Monkey Park is one of those places. Maybe it's the silence of the forest trail, or the sight of steam rising from a snowy pool. Maybe it's the calm expression on a monkey's face as it sits in hot water, eyes closed, completely at peace. Or maybe it's something deeper, the feeling that, in this quiet corner of Japan, the natural world is still untouched, unhurried, and unbothered by time. Visitors often say they come to see the monkeys, but they leave with something more. A sense of stillness, of closeness to nature, of understanding what it means to simply be. In a world that moves fast, with traffic, screens, and noise, Jigokudani invites you to slow down, to walk, to observe, to breathe. Here, you're not just a tourist. You're a guest in the monkey's winter home. And they teach you something without saying a word. They show you how to care for each other, in the way they groom, protect, and raise their young. They show you resilience, how they survive cold, hunger, and snow together. They show you that comfort isn't always luxury. Sometimes, it's just warm water, soft snow, and the company of those you trust. Even the journey to get there, the forest walk, the slippery path, the quiet anticipation, makes the moment at the spring more meaningful. Because it's not easy. It's earned. And when you finally stand there, watching the snow fall as monkeys soak in the steam, you understand why people return. Why this place is remembered not just as a photo stop, but as a feeling. Many visitors say it's one of the most peaceful experiences of their lives. And many return, not just for the monkeys, but to feel that peace again. It's the kind of memory that becomes a story you share. A place you recommend with a soft smile and a quiet voice. Because it's not loud. It's gentle. And deeply human. In the end, the snow monkeys remind us that happiness doesn't need much. Just warmth. Just family. Just a place to rest. That is the gift of Jigokudani.